I am sure that some of you may have heard about the National Chapter Award, but for those of you who might not know, it's a long application on AT in which FFA members write all about the various events their chapter might be hosting in any given year. This application is then submitted to the National FFA organization, and chapters are given a ranking to recognize their hard work in planning and executing events that mirror the National FFA mission and expectations. At the Woodbury FFA chapter, my home chapter, the officers organize a small committee of students to work on the National Chapter Award each year. I have been a member of this committee since I was a sophomore in high school, and I remember the first time I sat down with my peers and began working on the document. I was told I had to write SMART goals for each event. SMART standing for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Easy enough to understand, right? So I spent 2 whole years sitting down every Monday or Tuesday night, detailing these SMART goals into the National Chapter Award document, explaining how they would be accomplished, when the goal would be completed, and then stating whether these goals were met successfully. This last part is what seemed to confuse me the most. You see, I spent 2 whole years on this committee, and I thought I had got this whole goal writing thing down pat. However, just this winter, I began working on the National Chapter Award Committee again. But I was shocked when Joe, the committee chair, told me that it was okay for me to write that the goal of an event had not been successfully accomplished. Wait, what? Was it okay for me to openly admit that a goal was not achieved? My chapter could potentially receive an award from the National FFA organization, even if we had managed to fall short of our goals? I could not wrap my head around this idea that I would not be penalized for failing. You see, so many students, especially FFA members, are caught up in this idea that success is obtained from absolute perfection, and perfection leaves no room for failure. But even the National FFA organization rewards chapters with a prestigious award even when they do not have complete success. And that's because they realize something that most of us don't. Success is a relative concept. I want you to picture something with me. Take yourself back to high school. We'll say it's a Wednesday morning, maybe around 7 a.m. Your math teacher informs you and the rest of your class that you have a huge test coming up in a week. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking, great, I have a whole week to prepare. I should ace this exam. However, if you're truly like me, you also have 1,000,001 other things to do that week. Winning a sports game, practicing for a CDE, getting your driver's license, or whatever it is you do that fills up your schedule. Now, we're back in the classroom a week later, the day of the test, and you realize you have not managed to open up the textbook once that whole week. Chances are, if you did not study for this fictional test, you probably did not get the grade you had originally hoped for. You know, you probably could have done better if you just studied just a little bit more. And even if you received a passing grade, you might not see yourself as successful because your original goal was not achieved. To so many people, success only comes when they reach their absolute best. In this situation, in your mind, you quantified your success based on only one simple task, and its one outcome. Conveniently, you forgot about everything else you had managed to accomplish. You still feel like a failure even though you only missed the mark on that one objective. We see overall success as relative to one moment in time, and have a tendency to overlook all of our accomplishments when we happen to fail at one particular thing. But even when you fail to meet one goal, you are still successful. Just like in math class, when adding a series of numbers together, one negative number added to 100 other positive numbers of equal value will not make the answer negative. Our self-worth is determined by the sum of all of our achievements, and failure to meet one moment is only relevant to that one task. Over the course of my year as the Connecticut FFA State Secretary, I have had the pleasure of meeting some amazing members from across the state association. I want to give a special shout out to everyone I've met this year, and thank you all for giving my year in office so much purpose and joy. I also want to give an even bigger shout out to those members I've met who are also involved with the CD or LDE. You guys do some incredible work. I especially remember one group of students this year who were competing in their CDE at the national level. Isn't that something impressive? To make it to the National FFA Convention is an incredible accomplishment, and I can only imagine how proud their parents, teachers, family, and friends were of this group of individuals. Well, these members had very different feelings. They had hopes of achieving national FFA gold, maybe even winning the entire national competition. But they told me they only placed bronze. Only bronze. They had made it as far as Indianapolis, to the highest level of competition in the national FFA organization, and the word they used to describe their amazing achievements was a simple four-letter word that indicates that their work had no significance. They did not see their incredible success because they did not reach their initial goal. But only is definitely not the right word to describe their achievements. Most students would agree that what they did was incredible, and many could only imagine of getting to attend the National FFA Convention and having the opportunity to compete. Regardless of the competition results, these FFA members have accomplished incredible things. From their extensive knowledge they acquired, to the invaluable connections with their teammates and peers, to the development of their leadership potential. So some might argue that only the teams that receive the gold medal are the only ones to succeed. But at the end of the day, even if you do not receive the award of your dreams, you still have accomplished great things. The ultimate achievements can be found throughout your journey to the ultimate goal. But even if you do not manage to arrive at the destination you planned, wherever your ambitions take you, the successes you had on the way to get there will stay with you, and these will define you more than your failure will. You can secure your greatest victory, even though there might be a detour of failure along the way. So, success is relative. It's relative to the goal which is set, the person striving to attain that goal, when the goal is tried to be achieved. If it seems like there's a lot of variable factors at play here, there is, because success is relative to you. No one else can define what makes you an accomplished individual, and one failure does not make you an absolute failure.